Another Zoom. Oh dear God, we've had so many during COVID.
Because I'm looking at how to successfully lead virtual and online meetings in your 40s.
Think about it. You sit in a very long virtual meeting trying to speak, but your voice cuts out and no one responds. We've been there. You leave feeling frustrated. I'm a best-selling author. We're looking through McVeigh, Schultz and Ispilster now in the research to see how this all happens. Now, later on, I will give you my own personal takeaway in this research that it explores how virtual reality is making a huge difference to meetings. In fact, it can go beyond traditional meetings and video calls by enhancing communication and collaboration. We learned throughout COVID-19 in a very entrenched way. But this research also says that there's a traditional meeting highlights too, because especially with remote ones often suffer from poor interaction, imbalance in participation, and a weakened social cues and interaction. Findings suggest that virtual reality can create social superpowers, believe it or not, such as greater engagement, balanced participation, and new ways of interacting other than the traditional face-to-face meetings. Look, as middle-aged men, we like leadership, or we try to go towards that in our mid-career. And communication fatigue can be a thing, especially if we're not that great a communicator. If we lack the influence in groups, we need to basically improve on that. We need to understand the dynamics, the frustrations with remote work tools, and also the people on the other end of the internet, the stress, the reduced confidence and the disengagement that they feel, but also that we perhaps feel over the longer term, so that we can improve on that for ourselves and for them as leaders. Now, in the second article that I'm looking at here, it shows that hybrid meetings are a mix of in-person and remote create asymmetries where remote participants, believe it or not, feel ignored and disconnected. Their problems arise from technical issues such as the audio, the infrastructure, the setup, and the social dynamics are there of lack of, the dominance, the exclusion, the cultural differences that can happen within that. Together with the first article, both highlight a shared issue, which is that meetings fail not just because of technology, but because of poorly managed human interacting systems. Now, you may have been there, in fact, maybe frustrated by meetings if you tapped on this video. So what can we do about it? Well, we can improve. Use timed speaking slots. You are the person to speak right now. Off you go. You've got 1 minute. That's a bit strict, but you know what? The underlying mechanisms of choosing an individual person and then giving them a specific time slot is not bad at all. In fact, everybody sees the clarity in that. Everybody appreciates the time being kept. You can have more people at the meeting and it's fairer. Rotate facilitation roles. Today, you're the chairperson, even though I'm the leader, I'm the CEO. Tomorrow, you're the chairperson. Next day, you're the note taker, and so on. Rotate it around. Track who speaks and who doesn't. It's very important to get something from them. You can ask a person after the meeting, hey, look, John, I thought that you were going to interact, or bring up that point that you said to me personally. Don't be afraid. I know I'm a bit harsh in meetings, but I'm speaking to the crowd. There's other people and personalities there, not you, that I need to pull up on time, for example. You can say things like that. Improve your technical setup. Invest in high quality audio, visual, video tools, for example, where you could standardize meeting platforms too. All of these things enable us to have a greater range of tools. We don't have to lean on them entirely, but if we use them as they are and as they're meant for the benefit of our specific outcome of the meeting, well, at least our potential or wanted outcome of the meeting, they will help us. Test systems before meetings. I know technology can fail. We can look at them and say, whoa, this is wonderful, look at all the information it's giving me. But at the same time, it can drag us back and do the opposite of what it's supposed to do. Try to also use visual feedback systems. Show particular participation levels live and congratulate people for interacting. Even if what they say is not ideally what you want. In fact, it could be a way of saying, look, well done. You've done very well, and because people love to be congratulated and cheered in front of an audience. But privately, you mightn't take their interaction seriously with regard to what you put on paper, because it's a majority rule on that. Now, having said all that, you don't want to do that same thing to everybody all of the time. Sometimes they have something to give. Sometimes, like, you hire them. So you have to allow for something that they're saying to be fruitful for the organization or for the project at hand. Use dashboards for engagement. It's always a good thing too. Try to highlight silent participants, because some people are just thinking. Some people are actually very angry and frustrated with others speaking. They don't even like their sound of their voice. Do you like mine? I hope you do. Anyway, I'll keep going on because we need to introduce clear roles within the meeting. If you can assign a moderator as well as a chair, of course, a timekeeper and a note taker, and I know AI can do the note taking. Perhaps AI can do all of that by the time you watch this video, but a human being likes to have that alignment with the values of the meeting. They're there. Why are they asked to be there, even if it's virtual or online? Because you want them there. Surely then there's a purpose for them to be there other than twiddling their pen. Try to ensure someone represents remote workers, remote voices, or quieter voices. Group 2 or 3 of the quieter people, for example. Reduce dominance by senior figures. A lot of people that are lower down have great value to give, great ideas, great emotions to convey. Say, for example, if you're doing marketing or something, they might be tapping into the youth audience that you're trying to sell to, and they're young workers, but they don't feel that they have the dominance towards the older people, or the sir or the miss or the lord or lady or whoever it is, the chair that hired them in the first place. Try to reduce meeting sizes, or even have sub meetings that lead to a greater meeting. Therefore, you as a leader only need to attend once a month rather than the 4 weekly meetings as such, and allow people then not to get too comfortable in those roles, because that could chip away as well at the meeting. Now look, if you're enjoying this video, if you're getting benefit from it, please like and comment, good or bad. We'll have a conversation down below, and subscribe. On to the next one. I spoke about reducing the meeting size. Well, keep groups small, but also break into subgroups when needed. Breakout rooms are cool in the likes of Zoom, but they can also drag time, because sometimes people are twiddling their thumbs when they're there, because they're like, okay, now we've done that little activity, nobody's watching us, and where are you from, Sharon? And how long did it take you to kind of get to your own meeting? Because it doesn't have a journey, because there's no traffic. Oh yeah, forgot about that. Anyway, avoid unnecessary attendees. Sometimes on remote meetings or online meetings, there's people trying to get in. They've got the link, for example, and that's not welcome. That's the beauty of these things. You can record them, you can have a note taker, and you can also make sure that attendees are not welcome or looking in the windows or listening at the door or anything like that. Leverage new technologies such as the VR and the tools. Use immersive tools for engagement. Try to be as engaging as possible, as frequently as possible throughout the meeting. It doesn't have to be a totally interactive meeting, but if you can get people just like moving a little bit, getting up a little bit, expressing a little bit, thinking a little bit, doing different things, keeps the brain active. They're not twiddling with the pen, they're not fiddling with the phone. Try to add visual cues as well, avatars or signals. Enable shared virtual workspaces. By doing so, you're enabling it to be entertaining as well, and not just dragging down on all the work that we all see and we dread the meetings. By encouraging psychological safety, you're respecting people. That therefore it gives the impetus for people to, especially younger people who are more inexperienced or quieter type of personalities, introverted in that, to interact, to give a comment, to say something, normalize speaking up. Say maybe a little story at the start where I was really quiet once and I was the chairperson. And as the chairperson, I encourage you to interject. Just, if I'm rambling, just fire off a comment or make a little bit of a, and I'll be happy. I'll move on, we'll have a laugh and keep it fun. Try to also reward contributions. Not try to see it as a hierarchy. The beauty of having everybody around a round table is that we can all learn from each other. We want the ideas, we want the pieces of their brains now. I make the decision at the end, or you make the decision at the end. But you can welcome everybody there. It's not just doing meetings for a meeting's sake. Maybe you don't even need a meeting in the first place. Try to have trained communication skills. It will benefit you. So teach active listening. Even bring people into groups. Get somebody in to train them with regard to active listening. That is, those that are the loudest. Perhaps they're stopping. Remember, if you have 50 minutes of a meeting and one person's talking a lot and giving a lot, that means there's other people there that have decided from minute one, I guarantee you, that I am not going to speak in this meeting, so I'm not going to interject on that powerful person. They can dictate my next paycheck, so that's not a good thing. Now, you can also ask that person in some way, or try to in some way subtly put it into the dialogue outside of the meeting to practice concise speaking. You can do it yourself. If you're babbling too much, I've been there, you probably know at this stage that I can speak a lot. Build awareness though of non-verbal cues. That's really important. Again, the brain loves this. Think about when you're in school, your teacher's babbling on and you're like looking out the window. But I can remember it was always on the left for me because I was always that way. So if you have visual cues and things on the board, you can be motivated by it. But also I can even see right now things that were on my book. I remember learning German. I was looking at 13, 14 years of age at the book, and I remember the pictures to this day of what was on the book, but I don't remember the words. So people learn in different ways. Try to standardize hybrid practices. Everyone logs in individually, even in a room, because often you have 2 or 3 people in a room. They can turn down the audio and they're kind of going, what do you think of this? Will we do this? Or, oh, I don't agree with that. So what we say here as a group. Rather than that, have them individually, so they have to go to different corners of the room. That gives them independence, but also it allows for them not to be interacting away from the overall meeting. Have equal screen visibility. Make sure that everything's turned on the screen. You can insist on that at the very beginning, that the audio is on, that screen check is on, and so on. And avoid the conversation in rooms, because that's going to delay things. It's very ignorant if you're speaking, if someone else is speaking, if you're asking them, or you're bringing a guest in, to have others just interject or just be kind of whispering behind their microphones. Not good at all. Reflect and improve meetings. End with quick feedback rounds, as in a manager at the end of a sporting occasion or match or game, where the interviewer asks them, what do you think? You were down by 2 scores and then you won at the end. What happened in the halfway through? That means you're just looking for quick feedback. So you can just summarize quickly, even if you don't have the notes in front of you. Say it was either a good meeting or a bad meeting. There was some very good interjections. Well done, everybody, for listening, and well done for not delaying and all those things. And get the specific points and say, look, I think we can be very good. I'm going to send out an email. It's in positive alignment with our values here as a company, and so on and so forth. Now, I said at the very outset of this video that I will give my quality and my own particular take on the research here. And I believe that both articles show that the real problems isn't just meetings, but it's the context, the how it's done, the process within them. And for us middle-aged men, this often translates into stress and loss of engagement. I get bored. I'm like, oh my God, I just want to go here. But I'm not showing that. My body language will try not to. But it's got to come out somehow. The body takes the score, doesn't it? So we don't want that coming out in our personal life at all. So the solution lies in, I think, redesigning the interaction, not just upgrading our techniques, but making sure that there is ways for us all to improve. And you can ask to partake in the meeting in a different way or under a different role, or even make up a role. Show that you're being creative in that way.
Thanks for watching. Please like this video. If you subscribe, comment to say that you have, and we'll look after you.